Good morning. How you guys doing? How's life? It's been a bit wild out there. Thought we'd catch up over coffee real quick. I'm having a big breakthrough because I am not wearing a bra on camera today. This is the first time I have not worn a bra on camera since I was insulted on this channel by a Christian, naturally, for not wearing one. And that one hit, and it's really helped me, I've got to say, because it's helped me realize why I do this. Like, who makes content? I spend a lot of time on it, frankly, over the last 7 years, and have specifically and systematically, with really no good explanation, posted it to the wrong places at the wrong times to not be seen. Now, I was aware this was intentional, right? I think I talked about it on this channel initially because I just wanted to start sharing. But it was weird because I called this the journey to happiness, but at the same time, it was also my channel to just film and upload. That's really was an initial purpose. No one was watching it, and I could just make stuff and upload it with no sense of obligation, guilt, or worry. And then I was like, somehow this is related to my happiness. Now, back then I didn't know how or why. And I just did it, and I kept doing it. And then it started to hit a little bit, and I stopped because it's not time. And I don't know where these senses in me are coming from. But as time has gone on, I've realized, and there were a lot of factors that got me starting to talk to a camera, right? And post videos online. Like, I have one channel that's all farm animal videos from when I was out on my parents' ranch during COVID. And that one actually has quite a few followers. So there's a variety of interests, and really it was about COVID and my own personal breakthroughs and being lonely and not being able to talk to another human, which is going to start to translate to what this channel is about. I couldn't figure it out. And what I've started to realize, just coming into my awareness, and it's powerful, is that I could not be with people in the sense of being able to truly communicate who I am to other people. I after a year after this channel, I actually went back to grad school. So I'm in a grad school program for executive coaching and consulting. To know me is to know I've been around coaching for about 10 years. I actually went to a trade school to learn coaching in 2017 from one of the best that was out there. But it just wasn't the right time, and I didn't like a lot of the things in the coaching industry. And at the same time, I was a compliance consultant. My background is in product safety and factory compliance, and I was trying to sort of make a hard left into coaching. So I'm back in it, and the particular program I'm in right now is very much focused on how to build your character so you can be all of you in different spaces. Now think of how fascinating this is. Because really the calling for my need for this training or integration or development or healing or whatever you want to call it was very important, but a process that evolved, if you know the law of attraction, over several years of really realizing through content creation that I couldn't express myself. And what's happened in this program, and everyone is this way, you think you're expressed. Here's the big trick. We all think when we walk into a room and don't speak our truth that it's a choice. We think, I really want to say this, but I don't, and that's my choice. You don't know this because you don't try, but you cannot speak your truth. It is an illusion that you can, and you are stopping yourself. That is a trick you're playing. Here's what happens. You have a real and an ideal self. Now, we all kind of know this, right? We all know when we go to work, we're not the same when we're at home alone or when with our families or our friends. What we don't realize is how deep and intense this conflict between who we really are and who we want to be on the world is. And what it's really about are the expectations of others. And I had such a strong attunement to the expectations of others. And I'm also an empath, so I feel really what they're requesting from me, that I couldn't not respond to that. It was impossible for me to be free, especially since I really didn't know how I was feeling, much less how to communicate it effectively. All of these different phases of skill development that many people need, and this is why we avoid conflict. But if I'm too afraid to say what I really think and receive judgment, I need a safer way to flex that skill. And I didn't know I couldn't find a place for that. So what I did was create a place for it online where I could say what I didn't think and get judged for that, which is safer. Or say something I really think and get judged by people I don't know. Safer. As soon as the closer your truth comes to your inner circle, which is wild, the closer your real self comes to your real circle, especially the circles that are supposed to be closest to your real self, it gets the most dangerous because you haven't been real with those people. And they don't know it. I mean, they know it, but they don't know it. And you breaking code means that you know they're doing it and they don't want to be called out for it. You're the one doing this growth. And that's another reason I wanted to do it online in other places, because I'm like, it makes people very uncomfortable to witness someone else doing something that they deep down really need to do, but don't want to look at. Like, we're in such deep denial, we don't even want to see the possibility at this point because we don't know what it will do. We're so bottled up about keeping this real self bottled up, even in our real lives. And this is really important. So this is what I've been studying and coaching. This has all come to fruition. And as I've gone through this process, I've realized, oh my God, this is why I make content, because I've been able to practice exposing myself in different ways, either for something, like I said, I don't think, and I'm just being contrarian, for something really weird, for looking really bad, for looking really good, for looking sexy. I don't play that one as much because I feel like that angle gets worked in real life enough. But trying to do the things that are me or aren't me, or people perceive as me, or I'm worried are me, or whatever it is, so I can expose it and let it be judged in the safest way possible with an ever increasing exposure element. What does that mean? That means start with strangers on somewhere like YouTube. Slowly move up the weird things you do, because every time I post something, truly, especially when I first started here, every single time I would have a cringe, I would have a humiliation sense, I would have a bodily sensation of horror. That's why I kept poking at it. Now, most people won't poke at those things, but I think I was really aware that it was not working for me. And I really want to be able to speak my truth. And just because it makes me cringe doesn't mean I should stop. I didn't know where that cringe came from, and it wasn't working for me anymore. I lived my whole life stopping at don't say that, because I really thought I could say what I wanted to say, and I was choosing not to. It wasn't until the last couple of years where I've realized I can't say it. I can say it to a camera, put me in front of someone, and I can't. I got bathroom mirror courage, but I can't really say it in front of someone. And a lot of times in our culture, we think it's because they can't handle it, which is kind of true these days because nobody's doing this. But the truth is they can handle it. And even if we're mean to someone, they can handle it. What's happening right now is we have no exposure to any of that. We're not practiced. So if someone's mean to us, it's like world crushing. So we go do it online to each other, right? But then no one can express online. It's very strange. We're like constantly shutting each other down, and yet all we really want is to be able to express. And this has become bigger and bigger to me as I've moved through this process. And then the universe is giving me more and more training, more and more opportunity, right? Now I'm in a master's program, a bunch of more training. I've done a lot more content creation, and I've started to realize, wow, certain things really bother me more than other things, right? So it's ever increasing exposure. So I started with strangers, then I moved to people I know. Facebook. That was hard. And what I found was, and I had to ever increasingly increase that exposure, right? Talk about something political on Facebook. People you know, it might not even be my personal opinion. Even worse, right? I'm being judged for things I don't even think. But that's a really actually safer place than being judged for things you do think. So even though that seems strange, and I'm not saying you should lie and deceive, but the reality is when you're trying to break through your ideal self to real self, the first thing you have to accept is you are not being authentic with people. Is it culturally what we do? Yes. Is it almost an expectation? Yes. Does it help you get ahead in life? Yes. And you're faking it. You're a big faker. You're a big fraud. And you know it. Everyone is. And they're feeling that's why we're so hollow. That's why we're taking medication and drinking so much and banging children and all of these other things, is because the self inside needs to come out. Like, sorry. And we get to get real with ourselves and everyone else. And that's really scary and hard. And I know, because I'm doing it and I get it. It sucks. And it's amazing. So you got to keep going. So I used a trick of content creation. So then I exposed myself to Facebook, right? And then even worse, my parents got on there and didn't tell me. And I was expressing or what I think or don't think. They don't even know because they don't ask me. But anyway, that kicked up a bunch of judgment and friction that I needed to experience because I was really afraid to post and say what I really think and upset them. Over the last 6 months, I've realized, wow, I decided even at 40 that I wasn't going to upset my parents anymore, that I'd done it too much. They never once acknowledged they've upset me, by the way, much less decided they weren't going to do it so much. They don't even ask me what I think. They're Trumpers. So they just tell me and then expect me to affiliate, ask no follow-up questions, and I'm either in or I'm out. I'm cut in or I'm cut off. And that's the Trump energy, right? And they're Christian, right? And they're going to go to heaven, in case you don't know. They're expecting to be raptured any day now. So really good at taking accountability and cleaning up the mistakes. They're baby boomers. Anywho, I'm very grateful for the lessons. But what I will say is we have to realize that we aren't being real. And I didn't realize that I made a choice, like I just said, to not be real because I didn't want to upset my parents anymore at 40. Thankfully, I upset them now on Facebook. So we worked that out through content creation, right? Then I went to LinkedIn. That's just been the last couple months. That's why I've been quieter here. And that's brutal. Humiliating. I've just looked like such a bonehead on there. And I was a fancy compliance consultant and I could have gone out there and looked so cool. And I can't. It's bullshit. I feel so driven now to be this messy, real self, to like pull other people to be messy and real. And what's happened is what I've done is I've power leveled, right? That's why I'm sharing about it. So now I'm on LinkedIn. I've almost worked through all the ego on LinkedIn, or at least enough. Like, I don't know how I even know this stuff. I'm just like, I'm almost there. We're almost ready to change lanes and stop posting myself in Velcro rollers, like hair curlers on LinkedIn. Like, good God, woman. But at the same time, while I criticize myself, I love it because I'm letting go of so much ego, right? That's really what it's about. Is suddenly, guys, sure, it was hard to do at first. Sure, I didn't wear a bra on camera for, like a year. But suddenly I'm being able to say, not suddenly, right? There's been a lot of work, practice. I can't say suddenly, but the breakthrough that's happening that I'm sharing with you and bringing to you and just beginning, I can start to say what I need to say wherever. And some people think that's going to be like popping off. And I have been passionate and I have been popping off in places, but that's because you're backed up. I was so backed up, like I've needed to talk and write and talk. That was another purpose of this channel. I'm not going to pay someone for that. Therapists suck. I'm sorry. And they're expensive and I don't understand the purpose. I've been to so many. And it's like, I'd rather talk to a camera. And then they're worried about, there goes a garbage truck. Good morning. Our refuse is being picked up. It's fantastic, right? Bye, refuse. If only it was so easy. But it's really about this ability to speak. Like, I was so backed up. I needed to just share. And that was another purpose of this channel. So thank you if you've listened to it, is just to speak and share because we get backed up. Well, suddenly when I'm all of a sudden not stressed about it and I can totally do it when I need to, and I've developed my skills to communicate my truth as I need to, there isn't stress. The ability to do it will stress other people out because as this all comes into fruition, I become like a laser that just reaches out. And it makes things difficult for people. It says things to people they don't want to hear, right? And so I think that was always really hard for me because I really wanted to make people happy. That's part of my nature of my real self, is to satisfy and bring light and happiness. But I traded my truth and freedom to make people happy as part of my ideal self. And I've worked very hard to get my voice back. It's like Ariel, the Little Mermaid. So anyway, with that, I just wanted to share where I'm at. I feel the change. You'll be able to see the change. And I'm so grateful for the degradation online that I've experienced and the judgment and your support. Thank you. Where we're going together. And the goal here is to inspire you to say, like, you can break through whatever you want. And there's so many creative means to do it. I don't really know where the inspiration for this came from, but it's working so good for me. So it's spirit, right? Ask and it is given. This is the law of attraction. It's just in micro actions, but it's giving me exactly what I want. I'm power leveling, and we're going to get to have this journey together, and I can feel it. It's so fun, but I want you to feel like this is possible for you, because it is, right? Nothing special about me other than just willing to do it. So I love you, and I hope you have a great day, and thank you for being here with me.